Hey everybody, welcome back. We're doing another Marvel Future Revolution video. In this one, we are going to do another ranking. This is the best characters in the game. I like to look at it as solo PvP, group PvP, and actually touch PvE. The way we do that is essentially thinking about like a Dark Zone boss without thinking about the PvP. A little bit hard because a lot of the other PvE end game is a bit simple. But anyway, so we're going to go through that. It is just after the what is it, the mid-January patch, the balance patch that has got a lot of people sort of upset. So we'll address a couple of those things. We did a video the other day about Doctor Strange with one character, but I think you'll be interested to see where I've still got this guy ranked. So check that out. Anybody who missed it in the other videos, we are doing a gold giveaway. So I would go check out the video from 2 days ago. I think it was the one We Still Mad. Basically, go check it out on how you get enrolled in that at the end of the weekend. We will be doing a random draw for whoever comments in that video. So go check that out. Yeah, that's all I got. So hammer down the like button, click notification bell, subscribe, and let's see where I land on these rankings.
Bring me WolverThor!
Okie dokie. So, look, lots of characters in game. So the way that we're going to do this, I've got off to the side my little ranking of the characters based on each category that I mentioned: PvP, solo, group, and then PvE. I've ranked them 1 through 9 and then got the average off the side, sort by average to give me worst to best. So coming in at the last spot, Doctor Strange still. So I got that video the other day, and I do believe that Jav's doing a great job with Doctor Strange. I'm curious, I've gotten a lot of feedback. I want to hear additional feedback on people who are still having problems with them. The intent of that video is just sort of see if people can use those methods, builds, etc., and see if it can do something for you on your server. If it can't, or things that you're struggling with it, please do comment on that video or hit me up on Discord, because I want to hear about it, because I definitely want to do a follow-up and eventually maybe even chat with Jav a little bit more to see, hey, you know, these people are running into these problems. Is this something you experience? Regardless, Doctor Strange comes in at PvP Solo 9, PvP Group 8, and PvE 7. So yeah, not great ranks. He's got an overall average of 8. So he's still coming in at that 9 slot. I wish I could have brought him up a little bit higher, but I can't, unfortunately. So maybe at some point he can do better, but I'm still not seeing what I think this guy's necessarily capable of. Again, unless I'm missing some stuff and I'm still trying to learn. I don't know Doctor Strange well enough, but Jav's clearly being successful, and I want to continue to analyze that as well. All right, coming in at the 8th spot, mainly because we're still figuring her out, is Magik. I expected her to be a little bit better. A lot of people are rolling to her. The only reason I have this highlighted in yellow on my rankings, because I still am I don't feel comfortable ranking her at all, really. But I also don't feel comfortable ranking her much higher. In PvP solo, I got her an 8. There are some methods where you can do a lot of kiting with her and do well. I don't know. A lot of people don't like that play style. You know, there's certainly aspects where you would want to do something like that. But, you know, I can't say somebody who like just runs most of the time is somebody that you're, you know, a really strong PvP solo character. I had her as the worst PvP group character. I do like that she has a mass stun, but I have yet to feel the impact of a Magik in a group setting, and I'm not a super strong player, but again, that might be because people aren't really rolling to her yet. So for now, I've got her as the 9th, and then PvE, I actually have her 6th. I could see this being a little bit higher, but right now, I'd say the biggest thing she brings is an additional like burn debuff, defense down type situation where she can help you and your group nuke a boss much simpler. So, you know, but I haven't seen a bunch of Magics sort of like peak at the top of a DZ boss board. But again, there's not a lot out there that are huge and really pushing that. So that's where I'm kind of like, don't feel super comfortable on that. She had an average of 7.7 on her ranks. Coming in at 7 with a huge drop off, Captain Marvel. So Captain Marvel used to be a top tier solo PvPer. I had her tied at 2nd as a single character, a single PvP character. Now I will say that I know some players are starting to figure out some builds for her. But for now, because most people are struggling, I've got her lower. She's ranked 7th in PvP solo. And again, I know some players have started to figure out, and they didn't have to go crazy spending to do it. They just changed their build a bit. So there's a chance that she could go up a bit higher in these rankings. PvP group ranked her at 7th again. Just, you know, without the dodges and stuff, she'll still get that ult off, but, you know, she doesn't survive for as long. And it's kind of like, okay, like, you know, they don't seem to be doing as much, or they don't wreak as much havoc as they used to. And then PvE dropped her down to 8. So I don't see a lot of Captain Marvels out there doing a lot of damage in PvE. So she had an overall rank of 7.3. Moving up on the board, we've got our boy Captain America, and I will say, you know, he's ranked 6th, but he could be in as high as 4 or 5. But PvE really sort of dropped him down. I have yet to see, and maybe any of those big caps out there, because I know there are plenty out there. If you're a 1.8, 1.9 cap, are you competing with those 1.6, 7, 8, 9, 2 million characters in a PvE fight in the Dark Zone? Because I'd love to know if you're actually able to put up a ton of damage. But right now, I haven't seen that. So, but I have him as tied for 4th in both PvP solo and PvP group. I've seen some Captain Americas beat some of the best players that I know in the game, who I've got ranked as the top slotted PvP solo, semi-spoiler there. And they did it well, and they've done it several times. So Captain America, you know, there's a chance that he might be higher in solo if you're really good with him. But the problem is I think that you really need to get to a certain threshold with this guy to make him really viable. So Captain America comes in tied at 4th for both PvP group or solo and group. I have him at the same as group. What I'm seeing with him in the group fights, those provokes, brutal. Also just the fact that a high one doesn't die. They literally just, and now this is sort of I don't love this method, but they will run around, I'll say, crystal collecting type fights, Mega War, get all the crystals and just run. And nobody can catch him because he's so fast. And he's so hard to kill. It's just like, and then he'll come in, and once he gets his ult, he'll slam down, he'll hit a bunch of people, he'll provoke, and then he'll slam down. And it's just like, this is brutal. This is straight up brutal. So he has taken a huge leap in PvP. I could see him going up even higher in the very near future, but because I had him ranked as the worst PvE character, he fell in at 6th for an average ranking of 6. But again, PvP solo and group, I had him at 4, ranked tied for 4th, and then with PvE, I had him at 9th, so that dropped him a bit. So coming in at 5, I think she was here last time as well. We got Storm. I've got her for PvP solo and PvP group. I've got her at 6 in both situations. I think she's a decent PvP tune, but she does not necessarily wreak havoc. A lot of the people who tend to do this rely on some mechanics that are maybe just not doing a ton of damage, or they come in, they bubble, they do some whirlwinds and fly away. Again, like, I guess that's a technique. I'm not going to hate on them for it, you know, because it's what they got to do to survive and win, and it's sort of what they have to do to survive and win. But she's not, I don't feel like Storm makes a gigantic impact in these game modes, and you don't see a lot of Storms at the top of a PvP game mode, whether it be a single or group. Now, PvE, still got her at number 1. I cannot take Storm off number 1 in PvE. She's just kicking butt. She's done a lot of good things there. She's dominating invasion. She can crush Dark Zone Prime bosses if she's there. She's top notch there. So I can't get off of Storm. She's top there. So coming in at number 4, and she dropped a little bit. She did get nerfed. My girl Black Widow. This felt a little bad for me. I had her at 3 last time. So she dropped just 1 spot. Now I thought she would have dropped a lot further, but she didn't. I've got her tied for 4 with Captain America in PvP solo and PvP group. I think if you get her cooldown situation much higher, then she could be higher on this ranking, but I don't think a lot of players are at that point. So I personally could not rank her that high. And then in PvE, you know, what I have her in PvE before. I had her at 3rd. She dropped down to 4. You know, cooldown and her getting through her rotation and getting to that ult is a big deal for her to compete, because she needs to get to that snipe. She needs to get to concentrated fire, whatever those single target damages that you're doing. And without the ability to get to those quickly, she sort of falls off a little bit. So I dropped her to 4 there. So she comes in at an average of 4.3, which actually technically she was tied for Storm. Now that I look at it, she's tied with Storm for the 4/5th spot. If you average their rankings, they're both at 4.3, which is sort of crazy. Storm makes it up in PvE, and then Black Widow is just sort of even across the board in all the game modes. So it's kind of all right. So, but she dropped a little bit. I still coming in at number 3. I still have Spider-Man. I know some of my Spider-Men might be mad at this. But he still seems to be doing okay. He's just not as dominant as he was before. But yeah, he's tied for second in the, and he might even be, I could arguably push him to 3rd in PvP solo, because I think the person I have him tied with second is probably better than him, frankly. At least with the buffs. Another spoiler. PvP group, I've also got him as tied for second. I think I'm still sort of figuring out the group's the group dynamic for the person he's tied with. Again, spoiler. But yeah, so he's still at that, 2-3 mark for the PvP solo group. PvE, I've got him down to 5. Before what I didn't change him in PvE at all. There's probably some changes there, but I left him alone. So he had an average rank of 3.3, but he's still in a top 4 or 5 character. I've got him at the 3 spot. Moving way up on the list, Star-Lord. So Star-Lord comes in at number 2. He's the one I had Spider-Man tied with a PvP solo, which I'm sort of, as I'm doing this, I'm like, I feel like Star-Lord's better than Spider-Man right now. I'm not sure. But, this did just happen. It's a few days in, so I could see myself adjusting this a little bit. But either way, they're somewhat close. You're seeing a lot of Star-Lords who are pretty good in there. PvP group, he's also the one tied with Spider-Man. Again, I'm not seeing a bunch of Star-Lords out there just wreaking havoc on the group playing field. We've got Alliance Wars coming up, so we'll see how that shakes out. And then PvE, I've also got him tied for second. So, it's kind of like he can do some pretty good burst damage. He's solid. He's got an overall average rank of 2.5 across the board. He's doing a good job. We'll see how he shakes out. Maybe it's just the excitement of the balance patch where he got most of the love. I don't know. But either way, that's somebody that I've got, right there at that second spot. And coming in at no surprise, the guy who I continue to say is the best character in the game, because he is Iron Man. And again, he got some slight buffs, but at the same time, like I mentioned, I've seen some Captain Americas beat some top level Iron Mans. So while I rank him number 1 at PvP solo, there's arguments that are some other characters can beat Iron Man. So, which I'd love to get to, frankly. Because if there's a paper, rock, scissors situation, that's what we want. That's what we do want. You know what I mean? That's just where everybody sorts of, there's no dominant. That's the true balance, right? And I've also got, to me, he is nobody's close to him in PvP group. I would love to hear somebody argue otherwise, how anybody can be even close to Iron Man in a PvP group setting. He just rains missiles everywhere and everybody dies. Okay. I mean, Star-Lord, no. Spider-Man, no. Black Widow, no. No. Nobody else can do what he does on a PvP battlefield, when you've got the groups there. PvE, I do have him tied for that second spot with Star-Lord. I could argue maybe he's a little bit better than Star-Lord in PvE, but I want to give Star-Lord a chance there, so I wanted to tie him. So Iron Man has got an average rank of 1.5 and comes in again as the best rated character to me in the game. I just think he's solid. He doesn't get his power until a little bit, but once you get there, I think it's 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 range. He really starts just dominating, and then once you get higher, it's tough to compete with him. But again, like I mentioned, I saw Captain America beat one, so who knows? And maybe that'll be the best thing for us. We get true balance out of all this stuff. So that's all I got. As I mentioned the front end of the video, if you made it this far, appreciate you. Go check out that video, give a comment on it so you can get enrolled in the drawing for that gold. We're gonna do 3 giveaways. It's gonna be a random draw, so make sure you comment and check what you got to comment in that video. Hammer down the like button, click notification bell, subscribe, tell your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, grandma, grandpa, neighbor. I don't know. Anyway, anybody want to watch some MFR stuff? Come by, check it out. All right, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.